Another series of the podcast viewers. Today we're straying away from AI and going towards the finance sector. You've all been there. Birthday money comes 300, 400 dirhams, and in 2 days it's all gone. Gone to TikTok shop, Temu hauls, and KFC burgers. But that's an example of bad financial decisions. All of the adults in our life tell us to make good financial decisions. But what does that actually mean? Today we're going to break down the correct use of money for our age. Joining us in this endeavor is Miss Jasleena. She has over 2 decades of experience of spanning multiple industries and multiple continents. Thank you so much for coming here today, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me. I've been here in this world, as in Dubai, for more than 20 years. I have been working since as early as 19 years old. I have worked with consultancy, designing firm, and lately been with banking industry.
That's great. We have a multitude of experience from different industries, which will help us navigate this complex world of financial decisions. Let's start. Since you've been in this finance industry for a very, very long time, what was the first thing you ever bought with your own money? And looking back in retrospect, do you think it was a good decision or not?
Okay, let's start with something simple. Money habits begin earlier than we think. Most of us don't even realize it. But where we handle our first allowance, our first income, in fact, our first impulsive purchase. This all actually shapes how we deal with our money as an adult.
Okay.
I still remember the first thing I bought with my own money. I bought a fancy bag for my college. At that time, I had to have it. And it was a huge win. But later when I was recalling back, I thought I spent all the money on something which does not last. What I learned is the money disappears faster when we don't plan.
Fair enough. Let's get into a bit of an icebreaker just to set the tone and think about this in a bit of a retrospective tone. When you started long time ago, what was the first thing you ever bought with your own income? And looking back, do you think it was an impulse purchase or do you think it actually benefited you quite a lot?
So let's start with something simple. So money actually, the habits what we have. So it begins at very early than we think. Mostly we don't even realize it. Especially like the habit when you actually spend the first allowance what you get, or let's say the first income you get. In fact, the first impulse purchase. So all these actually compounds and brings the habit as you grow.
Right.
So as I say, I still remember the first thing I bought with my own money. I bought a very fancy bag for my college.
Okay.
And that time it was like a huge win I had to have. But now looking back, I realize I spent the entire money on something which does not last.
I think I relate to that as well.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm like, I just get money, right? And maybe it's my birthday money or maybe it's to go out with my friends. And the first thing I do is just end up buying a burger or something to feed myself. And it's like, okay, I spent 60 dirhams on a burger, which is like only worth 30 and all my money is gone now.
Absolutely. So that moment, what it taught me is the money disappears fast when you don't actually plan.
Fair enough. No, I think I completely understand. And I think that sets the tone for what we want,
Absolutely.
The first thing is to always plan where your finances are going to go, just document and catalog everything.
Absolutely, yeah.
Since you have such a multitude of experience and you've been in this industry for so long, when did you personally start investing, saving after your earnings? And what do you think you could have done different at that time so we can adapt from your mistakes and, ensure that whatever we do is completely perfect?
So I started earning as early as in my teens. I used to do small part-time job. I used to do tutoring and anything which gives me independence. My full-time job, I started at an early age of 19 years. I did save, but it was very little. Basically, I was kept treating my wants as a needs. Which was, I think, wasn't very mindful. Now, looking back, I wish I could have known the power of compounding.
Right.
So, for example, now even if you save a 50 dirhams a month, could actually, grow into a meaningful thing. So, having said that, the money, what you do is like, even a small amount will grow when you give some time.
Right.
It needs some time for any money to grow. So that you should learn at a very early age.
So start
yeah.
saving and compounding your money
Yes.
from the start,
Yes,
from a
yes,
very young age.
yes.
Okay. At this point, for me at least, my parents are covering everything, Wi-Fi, all of my transport, taxi fares and everything. So why should I or my peers actually care about that money as of right now? When we grow up, when we go to college, obviously we'll have to get jobs and make money for ourselves. But right now, why is money and managing our money relevant?
Okay. Money matters before adulthood, even at an early stage. That gives you freedom and choices. Whether you're buying your own iPhone, your iPad, or saving for your tour or trip, or maybe like a small projects at school, what you're doing.
Right, right.
So learning early means you learn how to make fewer mistakes as you grow old.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, because as we build our basics from our childhood,
Absolutely.
we can adapt them, and when we grow up, they're
Yes.
still ingrained in us.
Yes.
Okay. As you said, money affects us in our childhood, and in our childhood, we're very like malleable, so to say. But we all the stuff which is happening around us, we form our opinions on that, and all of the habits which we do right now, they get ingrained in us, and we continue doing them. So, what actually affects our habits is the people around us, social media. In this day and age, it's very prevalent, and it's a very important part of our lives, and social pressures and stuff. What is actually making us and our habits proper and ingrained in us?
Well, here is the twist. The world around you influences your spending more than you think. Friends sets your ideas of being, things which are normal. And to add it all on top of it, the social media will also makes everything look tempting. Nowadays, the world is designed to make you spend. So as I say, as a teen, you are not careless. You are actually smart. But the things around you are making you spend more, all those, fancy gadgets, or be it going to a good net restaurant or coffee shop. So you actually, into a world where is your spending behavior is increasing. So noticing this is the first step to take control of.
Right, fair enough. So you talk about how we can start off. And this is a good plan for us to start off, right? And we can find these in books and stuff. But what differentiates a person who is book smart from actually being financially smart? And how can someone my age get hands-on experience with our finances other than managing the money, we have when we go out or something like that? Like any investment tools which we can start playing around with, something which will help us get a real grasp on how money will work when we grow up.
Yeah. So basically, to answer that, the student bank accounts and student finance app is like your money gym. It helps you to actually build a real skill to track your spends.
Right.
Also, in fact, you can set goals, and some app also even gives you reward points. So basically, it's not only just spend, save, but also some reward points. Let's say you get some offers, deals with different outlets, or you buy something from a coffee shop. So you look for that as well. So it's rewarding as well. But cash stuffed in your drawer, nah, that's like leaving your money on a vacation. It doesn't allow you to grow. It doesn't allow you, teach you to how to manage the money, and it disappears faster than snacks at a sleepover. So it's
Okay,
something
fair
which,
enough. Yeah.
So you have to. It's not wise at all to keep your money in your wallet or in your drawer. It's better you use the right tool to spend tracking for saving purpose.
So we talk about needs and wants, right? And for you, maybe going to the movies is a want, right? But for me, going out with my friends is a need. I need to go out with my friends. I need to spend time with them. It's not about needing to spend the money. It's about the time I spend with them. Unfortunately, that comes with spending money because, food is not free, movie tickets aren't free, concerts aren't free. Is there like a golden ratio or something? Maybe for adults there's a different ratio, maybe for kids there's a different ratio. But how can, let's say I have 200 or 100 dirhams, how can I spend that wisely and ensure that all the stuff I want to do is happening, all the stuff which I need to do is also happening, and the stuff which I need to do in the future, like saving or for a trip or maybe for a phone, is also happening at the same time.
Yes. So for teens, money is really your first taste of independence, right?
Right.
So one easy way to manage it, split it like, 50, 30, 20.
Right.
That is a thumb rule.
Right.
But I would give a bit change to it. I
Okay.
would say 40, 40, 20. The reason
Right.
why the 40, 40, 20 is your needs are already like met by the parent, like for example, utilities or like phone bills. So those are already being like managed by your parent. So when I say 40, 40, 40, 40 is where you're spent. So even the spent, you can divide that into, like food, your sports activities,
Right.
entertainment.
Right.
So that you can also be prioritized as well. For example, you're getting an allowance of 500 dirhams. So you will have a spent amount of 200 dirhams. So now that is up to you how wisely you wanted to split between your food, between your sport activity or your entertainment. You can actually prioritize on a month's basis. Let's say this month I will spend and more on the entertainment part. You want to go for a trip or a like a concert, so you can spend there. Or in second month you wanted to spend time out with your friends at a shopping center on food. So you can actually like prioritize those spends as well by dividing your allowance or like budgeting and planning your spends. Okay. Now when it comes to another 40%, that is the saving bit. Now saving bit is also like it's a long-term goal where you will save for your like a gadget, let's say an iPhone, an iPad. In fact, you can also save for your education purpose. When I say education purpose, is that by the time you reach your high school and move to a university, you have a goal, what type of an education you want to do. Maybe you can spend that money for your certified courses, or you can contribute to your higher studies. Maybe you want to go abroad, so you have some money in your hand for your daily expenses.
Right.
So this is something which you can do save for a long-term purpose. Now the other bit, that's the last bit of 20%, these are the savings which, or let's say the investment which will bring you a compound money on a longer duration, right? It's kind of a return on investment. So that you can say, keep it aside, that will be 20%. So that's about 100 dirhams, out of 500 dirhams what you're getting. In fact, you can also do one more thing. This is something about giving to the society for a good cause.
Right.
Like, what you're passionate about. Maybe for the pets or for in the orphanage. So this is something which you can start building, because what matters most is learning to handle the money with purpose.
Right.
So you can have these ratio 40, 40, 20 and start building this habit at an early age. This will be very helpful for a long term.
That's great, I think. Okay. So these student accounts, they help you track your expenses and stuff. But I've heard this thing called interest, and you talk about compounding, right? So what actually is there? Is it just like if I leave my money in a bank account, does it just magically start multiplying, or how is interest actually working?
So it depends, vary from bank to bank.
Right.
And for even to get an interest from a saving, you have to have a minimum deposits as well.
Okay.
So that's a very wider topic, and where you can earn money back from in terms of saving or a fixed deposit or in terms of investments.
Right. Okay. So I think that's might be a bit too mature for me right now. I don't really understand all of that. So let's take it back to my parents, who will actually understand that and have the ability to open those accounts and make those fixed deposit. Right. As a parent watching, I'm sure we have some parents in the audience. What can they do to help us children start, making a healthy relationship with money and help us I don't know how to say this, but just be better with our investments?
That's a very good point. The parents actually play a big role.
Right, of
In
course.
fact, at an early age, they should actually give structure and general guidance. It should not like a takeover or a control. So I would, because being a parent and being a mother of 3 kids, I really understand that nowadays the generation doesn't like the word control.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it has to be freedom. So empower the kids with a financial tool. This is what I would say to all the parents. And this actually, little things go a long way, whether it is about setting an allowance, saving for something meaningful, some chores which will give, return back with small rewards. So, and letting the kids makes tiny mistake at early age is part of the game.
Right.
It actually builds the confidence, not dependence.
Right. So
as
we can
well,
learn from
yeah.
our mistakes and figure out what we're going wrong.
Absolutely. So,
Okay, makes sense.
so I want to give you an example, an instance which I just did last month. At home, we turned this into a whole adventure.
Right.
So what we have done is we decluttered our bookshelf. So instead of doing everything by myself, I actually called upon my little ones like a tiny force. So they actually sorted the books by author, checked the condition of the book, and organized everything as they were like running their own bookstore. So to reward them, I told them that whatever, and we also decided to actually, sell those books, and whatever money we get out of it, you both can actually split among yourself.
Okay. Right.
Ta-da! That suddenly they are all in. It became like a teamwork, like a hustle, real lessons in efforts where they are getting earnings. So
Right.
that's something which actually I instilled, and then they actually were like quite excited. They had fun. They have actually learning something real.
So I think that's amazing. You're getting them involved, and as they do all the business and they make the money, they feel more involved and they actually get a taste of that money. That's great. Coming back to that, but I think what parents can do, I don't know. I've heard about this thing called money matching, right? It's when, let's say, I put something, I sell something, and I'm selling a lamp, for say, and I make 5 dirhams off that. And I will put that into my bank account, my youth finance app or whatever for each bank. And my parents would do the same. They would also put 5 dirhams there, right? And then when I make 10 dirhams, they also put 10 dirhams there. So I think the money I make and the money they match that money. Do you think it's a good idea for a parent to do?
Absolutely, it's absolutely, because that's kind of an encouragement to the students, and also as a child, it's kind of an encouragement to do save more. So it's basically multiplying the savings as well.
Okay, yeah, okay, and I think that's great. I mean, I would feel like that's the best way to do it, because even if I'm making the money and I'm selling my lamp, if I was in a normal thing, I would only get 5 dirhams, but now I'm getting 10 dirhams. So I think that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's gonna go a long way towards all the trips I'm planning on going on with my friends.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, well, let's take this on a bit more of a macro scale, right? What are the governments doing in various countries to help students my age make their money, finances, like manage them well? Let's focus on the UAE scale, because that's where most of us are from, most of my audience. But I do have some friends in India also who might be watching this. So I think both of those countries might be a good idea.
Yeah. So basically, many countries are helping young people build good money habits early through the school programs, through digital banking tools, some financial literacy activities that make saving feel more normal and more comfortable for both teens and parents. Here in UAE, there are various banking industries who actually developed mobile app-based tools, financial tools for their kids, where the child can track their spend, and also the parent can monitor their spend as well from their mobile app. In fact, they're also giving a zero, no fall below fees account along with the debit card. So this way, the kids as a young youth, they actually feel empowered.
Right.
Because that's a fancy thing, right? Yes, I have a bank account, I have a debit card. So if they want to pay, they can actually go and tap the card and then they can pay. So and in fact, the best part is that the parent can also monitor. They can see, they will receive the notification, they can monitor their spend, and they can guide the children what they should spend and how they should spend on what items. So this is something which is there in the market, and parents and the children can actually benefit from these tools.
No, I think that's a great idea. Putting it into practice, even I have my own card. And I feel super, super empowered because it's always in the back of my phone, right? Even if I forget my wallet, I know I always have 250 or 500 dirhams with me
Yes.
in case I need to spend it on anything, food, water, whatever.
Yes.
I think this has been great. Let's come to a bit of a closing, and I think just for a summary of everything we've done so far, if you could just go back in time, right? What advice would you give your 16-year-old self on how she can start investing and compounding and everything? I think just a little bit of a roadmap or a checklist which I can give to all of my friends and all the peers and everybody watching this as a 16 or 17-year-old. What can you actually do?
So start with small, start early. This should be the agenda. So it's not like, even 20 dirhams saved consistently can shape your future. Don't chase the look of being rich. That's the fancy thing, right? You don't have to chase it. Be consistent and start with small. Build a kind of security that actually lasts. So this actually, make you feel more comfortable and also secured as well. Because when you're like, let's say 6 years old, 7 years old, even 10 dirhams or 20 dirhams matters a lot. But as you keep saving and do this habit as a consistent, this will build a lot of security. And remember, money is a tool, not your identity.
Okay, yeah.
So this is something which you have to be very careful. So as you grow, explore different ways of money can work for you. Basically investing, starting a small business, or any path that helps you prepare or helps your money multiply. So that's something which you have to start exploring the ways, and connect it with what you're passionate about.
Okay.
So it's not just about like small business or doing something, but it should actually connect with your passion. So what you are actually loving. If you know by high school, before you go out of your school, if you know what you're passionate about, you can actually relate it to your future goal as well. And even the saving, whatever you have done saving throughout your school time will help you to develop those passions.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Right?
Starting early builds those habits in you, and as you grow up, you keep on having those habits with you.
You can actually don't have to depend on someone's parents or something. You can actually start, buying things. For example, if you love tech, learn how to startups make money. There are a lot of startups in this market. So if you like a specific industry, follow them, understand how they are making money. What are the qualifications required? What is the business mind required?
Take inspiration from them.
Absolutely. So you follow them and see it. If you love art, understand how creativities or creatives build income streams. There is arts, be it jewelry designing. It's not limited. The art it's a broader, subject.
Right.
So if you start learning and if you like arts, move it to that industry. If you dream of being a doctor, engineer, designer, or entrepreneur, money, skills will support that journey.
Right, fair enough. No, I think that's a great way of looking at things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
So basically, the earlier you learn how to grow money wisely in a way that aligns who you want to become, the more freedom, choices, and confidence your future will have.
I think the key takeaway from this is that before the money, which you have grows, actually you need discipline, safety, and time. You need all those skills locked in so that you can make that money grow.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. I think this has been great. I just really appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much. And I think the people watching have so many good takeaways, and now we actually understand what draws us to money and how we can start from an early age in investing. And I think as the episodes come along, we'll go deep into that.
Absolutely.
And that's amazing.
Thank you so much for having me here.